G'day, welcome to Mark and Sam After Work. Today I've got a video on sonic booms. It's actually a video to try and help answer some questions. I'm keeping it short because no matter how I explain this, it gets complicated and hard to understand. Listen, you'll understand that by the end of this video, what I'm trying to say. But sonic booms. And I suppose ultimately there's a couple of different ones that we deal with all the time in our firearm industry, supersonic ammo, that sort of stuff. But they're in the world all over the place as well. I've got in front of me one of the places that, or a couple of places that sonic booms exist. One is, this is a stock whip. On the end here's the cracker. It's a bit that creates that real loud crack you get from a stock whip is a little sonic crack, a sonic boom, however you want to put it. It is about breaking the speed of sound with the tip of this that makes that crack so loud. A bullet. This is a 750 grain A-tip BMG bullet. Really, I got this because it's big and you can see it easy, but every bullet that travels over the speed of sound, which is the normal rifle bullet, traveling at generally up to at least twice, if not three times the speed of sound, creates a sonic boom as it travels, which is different to what you normally hear on our channel, but it is the case. It actually creates a sonic boom as it travels. The Concorde, the fighter jets, meteorites, anything that travels through our atmosphere, in our air, like I said, through our atmosphere at above the speed of sound creates a sonic boom. And then there's another sonic boom, which actually is the same thing, but it's a different part of it. And that is as a projectile bullet accelerates from the barrel and goes through the speed of sound, so it's going faster than the speed of sound. It actually leaves the muzzle at faster speed of sound. As that happens, there is a sonic crack. And then, as you'll hear on our channel, quite regularly, some people think it's a ricochet or something else gun, or they think there's a muzzle. The muzzle report has got to the target before the projectile, which doesn't make any sense unless you're talking super slow ammo. But what actually happens is the slowdown sonic boom, or slowdown sonic crack, as to the right thing to call it. That really comes down to you. But what we're actually talking about is as something goes from faster than the speed of sound to slower than the speed of sound, you end up with another boom that quite commonly you'll see on the stuff where we're shooting out a long distance and the bullet has slowed down. It's gone through the transonic zone, so it has that slowdown sonic boom. And then from that point, the bullet is now traveling slower than the speed of sound, so that sonic boom sound makes it to target before the bullet makes the target. So you'll hear a boom, and then see the impact of the projectile hitting the ground. And if you listen carefully, or if it's sometimes very quiet, but a little bit later on, you'll hear the report from the rifle. So there's three obvious noises in that world. So those are the noises, but it gets a bit confusing for some people, because when they say, what was that? Did it hit the ground? I said, no, it's a slow down sonic boom. Then there's some people that will say, no, the sonic boom happens all the time. It happens all the time while something is traveling fast at the speed of sound. And they're right, but they're not. So let's try and explain briefly, without too many details, what I'm actually talking about. And that is, the sonic boom of something traveling faster than the speed of sound, this is where it gets really complicated, is not actually a sound. It sort of is and it sort of isn't. It is actually something your ears determine as a sound. It is something that with sonic boom, that is actually a shock wave you're listening to. And if in big objects like planes and things, you'll hear too, a double bang. It is something that when you're closer to the object that's traveling faster speed of sound, it'll be louder and sharper and cleaner. And as you get further away, it changes in its sound to a lot lower, almost a boom sort of sound when you're further away. And if you're further away still, you will not hear it. Here's the other interesting thing to think about there, is that you hear it in reference to the wave crossing you from where that thing that's traveling faster the speed of sound is. And if you were a meter in a different place, it'll hit you at a different time. It hit you because of when the wave goes through. And if you're a kilometer away, it'll hit you there. But even though that sound is actually, that sound will travel at or that noise will travel at the speed of the object. It doesn't travel at the speed of sound. And in actual fact, the sound doesn't travel. It just is an effect. So as much as you hear it, as much as it'll break windows in some situations, and I suppose to try and make this in some form that makes sense, hard to explain, but if it was a sound and it was happening all the time, it wouldn't sound like a bang. It would sound like a roar. It would be a constant sound, because it's happening all the time, isn't it? So why would it be a single bang? So that's where it actually isn't a sound. As much as you hear a sound, as much as it's a shock wave that you feel and your ears determine as a sound. Complicated, I know, but the bit that I'm directly referencing to is both the speed up and the slow down sonic boom, sonic cracks, whatever you want to call them. They happen at a moment in time. They happen as one sound that you can hear from all sorts of places. You'll hear it further out. One sounds like your muzzle report, but it's actually the sonic boom inside there as well. But the other one at the other end, there's no other noise but the slow down sonic boom. That one there, you actually can hear for a long way. Depends on the size of the bullet, depends on all sorts of things. It even gets into, you can determine whether the bullets are tumbling to some degree or another. There's all sorts of stuff you can determine from it. But it's something we're super experienced at. And that is largely because we're always recording out at cameras, at targets, so we can hear this sort of thing. But we've also found when we go through and analyse some of the stuff is that in actual fact that slow down sonic boom can be the thing that is most hearable, most able to be heard. It happens in a moment in time, there's only one of them. It'll change your distance to where it happened, will change in timing by the speed of sound, by how far that speed of sound's got to travel to get to you. But it is a moment in time. It only happens for that instant. It is louder, largely because it is a very loud sound anyway, but it also, in an ELR shot, tends to be high in the air. It'll tend to be, whether it's 100 feet or 150 feet or 300 feet, it'll be up in the air. So there's nothing that impedes its ability to travel distances, so you can hear that for a long way. So listen, I won't try and get too much more complicated. They're real things, but the actual sonic boom of something traveling is more an effect. You've got this shock wave, this pressure wave through the air, which is how sound travels anyway. So it's very close. I presume it's a frequency thing or something like that. But that is something that causes you to hear something, but it isn't actually a sound. If you're not in that sonic cone, if you're not have those pressure waves hitting you, you don't hear it. This is also in the target butts. When you're standing in the target butts at a range, that crack as it goes across you is actually something that you hear as that wave crosses you. If you're 2 kilometers to the side, you can't hear that because it doesn't cross you. Whereas the slow down one and the speed up one, the muzzle report, which is the speed up one, that travels as far as that sound can travel. And the same for the slow down one, that travels as far as it can. Both moments in time, the other one not. Complicated enough. That's my conversation on sonic boom. And for the people who say it's happening all the time, they're right. But there is a slowdown one, which is a compression of that to the speed of sound versus that shock wave. It's the compression of which makes that sound. So it's all in the same maths, all in the same thing, but they're different. Anyway, complicated enough. Hope that makes some sense to someone. Thanks for checking in, and we'll catch you next time.